This video is brought to you by Squarespace, but more on the sponsor on the later part of this video. I'm sad.
Why are you sad, Jay?
So, okay, well, I'm not sad over exaggerated drama queen. We have the R200, CSS Audio 1 TDX, the Bucard S400 Mark II, and the Sonus Faber Electa Amator 3s. All of the speakers, what do they have in common, Sean?
They're nice. They sound good.
Yes, but also they have been the highest request for comparison with the GR Research XLS Encores. Now that one is a DIY kit and is very similar to the price point of the Polk R200, which I thought was a fair comparison. But Danny says that it will be more interesting to compare it with the Bucard S400 Mark II or the much more expensive Sonus Faber Electa Amator 3s. He likes the challenge, eh? Now I do have to make a decision fast because as I'm looking at my fake watch here, Vincent Belanger is coming anytime soon. So,
wait, who's Vincent?
Vincent Belanger, the classical musician, the one and only, the crazy dude. Love that dude.
So hello, my name is Vincent Belanger from Montreal, famous cellist from Montreal. Maybe not so famous, but still.
So he's coming. I have to make a decision. I don't know which one yet. Now, I am going to do more blind testing with Sean and some of my friends I'm inviting over with the other choices. This is just the first choice. We're gonna go over every one of these speakers with someone different. But with Vincent, I wanna do a special one. So you know what? Let's do a challenge. Let's go big or go home. Let's start with the Sonus Faber Electa Amator 3s. So I'm super excited right now, but we have to make a few things clear before Vincent arrives. And that is that we have the gear that we're using is somewhere in between the price point of the Sonus Faber and the GR Research, because we can't, choose high-end gear or low-end gear. We have to be somewhere in the middle to make this more sensible, right? So we chose the Philips Stalo, almost exact same setup that we used with the Bucard S400 Mark II review. I'll link all the test equipment that we used, the gear that we used in the description below. Also, the unlisted video in the description below is available for you to watch. It's 2 hours long of us doing the blind AEB from the start to the finish. So you can watch that entire thing to see if we cheated or whatever. And lastly, these blind tests are fun, but they are not perfect, I admit. So just take it for what you will. I think it's fun and interesting. Also important, everything was volume matched with 1 kilohertz and then with white noise. So we matched it to like the closest possible, and it was like 0.01 dB of difference, if any. According to my microphone and multimeter, we used both to make sure everything was volume matched. And also the placement wise, we have it about 1.5 feet from the wall behind it, which I thought was the best compromise between the two speakers. Same placement, we just changed the speakers back and forth as fast as possible. Again, not a perfect test, but it's fun. And I think I'm pretty excited about the result as to what the outcome will be. And lastly, this video is not sponsored by Sonus Faber or GR Research or any of the companies mentioned in this video, but we do have a sponsor for this video, and that is Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform to build your online presence and run your business. I used to run and manage 3 websites for 3 different businesses, one of them being a hi-fi store, and guess what? They all used Squarespace. I asked those businesses what they liked about Squarespace, and it mainly came down to 3 main points. Number 1, they really liked the custom templates. Squarespace has one of the most diverse custom templates to fit any business model. This means less money and money spent on creating a website from scratch. Number 2, they said it was easy to use. Squarespace is intuitive and easy to use for someone with little to no experience building a website and managing it. Number 3, they said it makes selling easy. These days, it's all about e-commerce and standing out, and Squarespace makes selling online easy for both the customer and the business owner with email campaigns, SEO tools, and analytics. So if you're interested, head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready, go to squarespace.com/jiyagi to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
So I received a challenge by Mr. J.
What's the challenge?
I don't know.
Well, but first of all, thank you for coming all the way from Montreal.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
I didn't tell you anything, and you're
No,
just like, I'm like, come over, let's do some listening tests, and you just drove over.
You said no. You wrote to me on Facebook, I guess, and you said, "Oh, Vincent, I have a crazy idea for you." So, okay, let's do it. So when are you coming? July would be the best one. I was supposed to come, I think, last week, but I have stupid car problem as always.
Yeah.
It's like Vincent is égal car problem. This is me. So, but now my car is superb. The air conditioning is superb. Everything is superb.
Good, good.
So now I'm here and I'm very excited about your crazy idea.
Well,
So,
have a seat.
okay. I'm here.
Put that on. So, we have finally finished our blind A/B test. It was a lot of fun, well, at least for me. Was it fun for you?
Of course.
Okay. So, we compared the GR XLS Encores, the GR Research XLS Encores, it's a DIY kit, and the Sonus Faber Electa Amator 3s. Now, the price...
I put my glasses.
He has no clue. When he came in, he has no clue what's going on. You know, he came all the way from Montreal because I just asked him for help on Facebook. I was like, hey, Vincent, I need your help. He's a classical musician. He's a very busy guy, but he drove all the way here for this test. So kudos to you. At least I hope you had some fun. We'll go get some Korean barbecue.
Of course.
On me, of course.
Wait, it's my salary.
It's his salary. That's how I pay him off, right?
Yeah. It's just pork, beef.
But yeah, so we did choose. Well, I chose the Sonus Faber speakers 10 out of 10 times. Now that doesn't surprise me whatsoever because I bought the Sonus Faber speakers. I have a preference for that sound, so that doesn't surprise me. And that's why you're here, because you give another perspective.
Of course,
right?
my ears is tuned for the audio note. So yes,
you're a classical musician.
Yeah.
You know, you like a smoother sound.
Yeah.
Like audio note, liquid. But for me, I don't want people to just take my word for it. A second opinion is always appreciated. That's why I have other people on this channel, right?
So you trapped me.
Yeah,
I have to talk about.
So I trapped you, and his outcome is quite interesting. He actually chose the Sonus Faber 6 times, and the GR Research speakers 4 times.
That's
six to 4. Now, again, the premise here was that you choose what you like musically.
Exactly.
So not technically, right? Not the audiophile stuff.
You told me that. Don't go too much technique.
Yeah.
Go with your own feeling.
Yeah, go with something that is more musical to you and emotionally engaging rather than choosing what's technically better, right? So, but for me, I can't help it.
I can add one short thing.
Sure.
It's sometimes I knew there's it was A and B.
Yeah.
Number A and number
B. Yeah.
Anyway, so I choose one, but I knew that the other ones has some very good qualities either.
Technically.
Exactly.
Okay,
technically, so I choose the other one sometimes. Sometimes I choose this GR Research.
Mm-hmm.
But and I told you, but the Sonus Faber had also this lovely sound.
Yeah.
So it was very similar, and sometimes some track huge difference, and some track very small.
Yeah.
It's so again, as a musician and in this recording industry, I did a lot of records, of course.
Yeah. But
the mastering is important.
No, absolutely. That's what I'm gonna talk about. Is, as a reviewer, I can't help it. I have this in me because I do this on a daily basis. Overall musicality is important to me, but the additive factor is that the technical performances do matter to me. So that's why I chose tracks that were more audiophile tracks that I used to use it for setting up high-end systems, right? When I used to work in the retail store, right?
And will you share the playlist we used?
Yeah, I will share the playlist. And so you chose music that you know very well. I mean,
but in different type. You have red-handed,
yeah.
You have symphony, organ, a lot of things.
And then you have Vincent Belanger.
Of course.
You chose music because he's a classical musician.
the blue eyes,
Yeah. And if you haven't seen his video, we have a video, basically on him. And he's an audio note ambassador. He's a classical musician, and I used to play his music way before I even knew him personally. So it's just really cool that now I'm sitting with him and doing this test and stuff. It's just absolutely outrageous. But really famous guy. His blue eyes, he always talks about his blue eyes.
You're jealous, eh?
Oh yeah, I definitely. You know, I asked my girlfriend, you know, what do you think if I had blue eyes? You know, and those Instagram filters, and she was like, no. I was like, okay. Maybe it's because she has blue eyes. I don't know.
Yes.
But anyways, back to the topic. The GR Research and the XLS Encore, you know, it's just absolutely fantastic for the money. Now, how much do you think the Sonus Fabers were?
First, when I saw it, maybe around 8 to 7,000 approximately.
Okay.
And the other one, maybe 5,000. Maybe 4.
Well, these speakers?
Wait, 4,000.
Based on the looks or based on the sound?
Not the look, no, because the Sonus Faber is more impressive. I think the finish is better. The finish is much better. But about the sound, yes, I would say about the sound.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. So, time for the reveal. The Sonus Faber Electa Amator 3s are $10,000 approximately. US dollars, $10,000.
You mean 13,000 Canadian?
Yeah, around there. Yeah, and that includes the stands as well, obviously.
Oh, well, okay. Because I say the price without the stand.
I think.
You should.
Anyway, the XLS Encore, that is the highlight, is a DIY kit. So you can get it in a DIY kit form where you can purchase it and you build it yourself. And with all the upgrades available at the time, it is $720 approximately, US.
720?
Yep, 720.
720 is 720?
Yep, dollars.
That's impressive. No,
yeah,
indeed.
And then if you don't want to build it yourself, they do sell it with all the upgrades for about 1,400 US dollars, right? So very impressive considering all that, right?
Yes, but yes, yeah, it is definitely. Yeah. So, but it's a kit. So the people receive that in the box and they build themselves.
Yeah, so there's all the tutorials and stuff is available online on YouTube. So you can build it to exactly how GR Research wants you to build it. And so it comes with the flat pack if you want the flat pack. So all the wood pieces, everything. You can build it from scratch. It does require a little bit of expertise because it's. You have to know how to solder. You need to know how to build a cabinet out of these DIY kits.
Yes, because each details matter.
Yeah. So a guy named Frederick, who's one of the viewers on the channel, built it and sent it over to me.
Okay.
And he did a very good job. Obviously, fantastic.
Yes. Oh, no.
But that's another thing that what you said with DIY kits. The beauty of it is like you can continuously upgrade it, continuously tweak it. So of course, this has even with all the upgrades in here, you can still tweak it further if you really want to, right? But yeah, so this is basically the form it comes in, from the manufacturer. It's all built, and so it's with all the upgrades. So it's as best as it can get, and it was built by someone, and then it was sent over to GR Research, and the CEO Danny. He's also the designer of these things, and so he measured them and made sure everything was to spec, and then sent it over to me. So it's a perfect pair. It's a nice pair.
No, you have okay.
And I want it to be a nice pair because you know me. I want good shit.
No, I think for what impressed me with these speakers, 720. It's there's a lot of people who watch this video and they may say, "Is this industry for me? It's a hobby." You have to understand.
Yeah.
This is a passion. This is a hobby.
Yeah.
Then nobody put a gun on the head and you want to buy any speakers, any amplifier, cables, blah blah blah. But if they want to know, I think it's a good first step in this industry.
I mean, for $720.
No, definitely. But of course, if they can spend more and they can invest more, they will have more.
Yeah.
I don't want to misunderstand people.
On that note, I need to ask this question.
Oh.
Sonus Fabers, about 10 times the price of these, right?
I hate you.
You know what I'm gonna ask? Do you think the Sonus Fabers are 10 times better than these speakers?
I would say yes. Because of the finish.
Yep.
The finish, you have to live with that. I think that the finish is more nicer. The sound also, I was in a trap, my friend. Mr. J trapped me. Yes, there's a huge difference. In some piece, I had close to goosebumps with some of the piece we put. The best example is the red violin. Huge difference between two. But you know, you pay the price for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want people to think, it's you waste your money. No, if you have more, you will have more.
So I'm gonna say my answer. So I don't think it's worth 10 times. But people obviously want numbers. They always ask me how many times is it better than? If it's not 10 times better, right? So if I have to put a number on it, I would say the Sonus Faber is maybe 2 times, 2.5 times better.
You're hard.
Well, based on the stuff that I've listened to
Maybe
so far.
4. You can say 4.
No.
No? Okay.
No. And I bought the Sonus Fabers.
Really, I'm surprised.
I like that sound.
Don't listen to him, please.
But another thing that people have to notice is that the gear that we used was altogether about 5-6 grand, right? From the DAC streamer to the preamplifier to the amplifier, and that was a midpoint between what I consider, high end and low end. And what I mean by that, and please don't take it the wrong way, what I mean by that is people that are gonna buy the Sonus Faber speakers are gonna probably have better amplification than what we used today. So to that point, obviously the difference in gear that you will be using for these individual speakers with different price point is going to bring the performance, and separate the performance even further, in my opinion. However, from my test that we did today, I was definitely impressed with the XLS Encore.
Oh no, definitely.
And there's definitely value that Sonus Faber doesn't have, which is invaluable in my opinion.
For some of your listeners, viewers of your channel, they may try to understand how it works, a speaker. They can understand how a speaker is made of, so they can learn about the speakers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's huge value there.
But wait, it's very interesting. Value. So then they can tune, they can also maybe I don't know if it's easy to open it, but they can also experiment better component. Blah, blah. So they understand. It could be possible. What is a speaker inside? Simple, but not as simple as it is.
Yes.
Huh?
Yep.
Let's say that.
But at the end of the day, there is a clear difference and clear preference for the Sonus Fabers for both of us, right?
At the end. Right.
Well, at least for me. So for you,
I have the right to talk about the note now.
No audio note in this video. But okay. Tell me, what differences did you hear? What did you like more about the Sonus Fabers, and what did you like more about the GR Research speakers?
Overall, overall Sonus Faber was better, and a bit of everything. So overall, what is interesting with Sonus Faber, of course, more body, more extreme frequency, everything was better. But the separation of the sounds with this one was very impressive for the price. I think if you compare some speakers at the same price, 1,000, let's say 1,000 Canadian dollars. Honestly, it's impressive. It's impressive what it can achieve. I liked very much the mid bass. I think it was very nice. The bass was okay.
Yeah, it's a two-way speaker.
Yes, but a bit thin. If the general aspect of both is the Sonus Faber was thicker than the other one.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, of course. But I was impressed. This is why I choose that sometimes, the other speakers, because I like the stereo, for example. The stereo, the soundstage was really impressive. Not perfect.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But very impressive.
Yeah. So for me, I would say that the GR Research speakers I liked better with the sound staging and imaging and separation capabilities. It was on par with the Sonus Fabers on most part, and even on some tracks, it was even better than the Sonus Fabers. It had a wider sound stage, deeper sound stage, better separation on some tracks. However, overall presentation-wise, the Sonus Faber was more fuller, and the biggest difference for me, in terms of musicality, was the fact that Sonus Faber, like you said, seemed like it was more dynamic. Yes. The dynamic range seemed less compressed. Yeah. So when you guys switched to the XLS Encores while I was blind, I could hear the compression. So I felt like in comparison to the Sonus Faber, the GR Research sounded more dynamically compressed. So this means that not only in the extremes, in the high frequency or the bass, but also in the mid ranges, there was a little bit of smoothness to it, which people may like, and that's why I played some tracks that was not really audiophile recording, like the Disney track and stuff like that, and Fireflies and some modern tracks, modern-ish tracks, I should say, because that was still a while back. And even then, I still chose the Sonus Faber because of that fuller presentation. But the last track, the surprise track that my camera guy Sean Nova, put on, that track had a lot of just strings, right? So it was kind of like the bass was kind of taken out of the equation a little more.
In the composition, there's no bass.
Yeah,
it was like clearly mid and high. So because in the composition there's no bass, it was more closer.
Yeah, but it was closer in a different sense for me. So like the tone, and it was so drastically different. But I had a trouble choosing which one I liked better because I liked both of them equally for different reasons. For example, like the Sonus Fabers, I liked it better because it was like in terms of tone more real. Like what I'm saying? Like when you play a guitar that aggressively, it gets a little bit fatiguing, right? And it's normal to get a little bit fatiguing, a little bit of impact, a little bit of like whoa, like wow, right? So I love the tone, as I always do with Sonus Faber. But then when we switched to GR Research, it was just easier to listen to. There was less fatigue, less in your face. So that's why I had trouble choosing it. Also, the GR Research had better soundstage and separation in that track as well. So just to think that even a $740 kit speaker can be this good and can be actually better at certain things than a Sonus Faber $10,000 speaker.
Yes, but I totally agree with you. But the separation, yes, but it's one thing about something else. I can't say it was after all better than the Sonus Faber because the fat of the bass is so missing. That for me, I would say okay, no. This is why overall I think the Sonus Faber. For me, it was much better. If people can afford it, of course.
Yeah, the presence, like you said, it was more full sounding. The presence was more on the Sonus Fabers, and technically speaking,
but it's for me, it's a fantastic product for people. Again,
absolutely.
I repeat myself.
And again, this is a two-way speaker, right? So you could add a subwoofer if you really wanted to have that lower, end bass. And so absolutely, it's a fantastic deal. And I think that, this test really, it didn't. I'm gonna be honest. It didn't, shake my world. It didn't shock me because, if the GR Research speakers won, or if I chose the GR Research speakers, like at 5 times, at least one time, I would be like wow, But I didn't. I still prefer the Sonus Faber, so it didn't shake me or surprise me. But what did surprise me was actually your results.
Wait.
Right? And that's why I love having other people as guests over, because it gives you different perspective. You come from a different background, different opinion.
And I do not play, but you will put my playlist. I didn't play hi-fi music.
Yeah.
It was regular music, classical music, jazz music, my own recording, Hans Bisson recording.
Yeah. I think that both speakers are great speakers, obviously, and this was fun. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.